Solo per favore. Solo io lo dico perché tengo la no. Sì, no, solo che vai a non è mai
Hi, hello. I'm speaking. Hi, hello. Yes, you can hear me, but right now I cannot hear you at all. Is that a big problem? Yeah, but I cannot hear anything from you.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Right now.
Okay.
But I cannot hear anything from you.
Well, but this is a repetition, right? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, good. Okay.
I cannot hear anything from you.
But this is a repetition, right? Can you hear us now?
Is it working now? So it's okay, Anna.
Tendrán que mutearse lo que están conectados. ¿Qué tengo yo?
Hola, hola.
Hi.
¿Lo puedes mutear? No puedo hacer nada. Que yo estoy viendo todo de allí. Sí. No puedo hacer nada. Que yo estoy viendo todo de allí. Sí.
Eso. Era eso. Vale, pero por YouTube sonaba bien.
Ahora
sí.
¿va?
Por YouTube. Sí. Ahora que a ver si sonaba.
Yo no.
Ya, eso.
Can you say anything else?
Yes, is everything all right right
Perfect.
now?
Yes.
Right. I can hear you now. Right.
So sorry.
No worries.
Okay, good.
So,
Then we can start now. That's good. Okay. So let's go. Orbit modus. Just checking. Yeah. Okay. Go back. Yes. Start. Okay. Now what's happened with live event here? Until the last minute, trying out technicalities. Thank you very much. And we would like to welcome you and say good morning to everyone in this room to this wonderful scholarship fund gathering event. We are thrilled and happy to have so many with us today who are the speakers. So first of all, our beneficiaries of the ArcSTEM Scholarship Fund. For the three calls we have launched in 2023 and 2024. Most of them are here today, others are hopefully joining online because there were some issues with traveling. You know, nowadays in the world that we are living, it's not that easy. Sometimes you need a visa or the authorities are closed. But however, we are happy to have 120 students advanced today. We have but also representatives of the Arc Student Council. We have colleagues from different working groups. I will not say the numbers because the numbers are like internal knowledge. We have students but colleagues as well from Arcos Student Agora, from the linking ecosystem, but also from mobility, Arcos on the move. And we have representatives from the University of Graz, from the University, many supervisors from our students representing almost all 9 Arcos partner universities. So we have Graz, we have Granada, Excelsior, Mio. You are very welcome. You see your face from Graz. And we also have with us, I have to move a little bit so you can see. Dorothy Kelly, who's the coordinator of the Arcos European University Alliance. Anna Garcia, who's the vice rector for postgraduate studies from the University of Granada. I'm not loud enough? No? Okay, thank you. And you have seen maybe us in the front and one really nice colleague in the back. We are the co-leads of the ArcSTEM Scholarship Fund. So Celia Castillo from the coordination team, I will stay still, of the Arcos European Alliance, Jacobo Puga, also from the Arcos European University Alliance coordination team. My name is Anja Hoffmann from the University of Graz, and we are co-leading this talent fund and in parallel also the Arcos Innovation Fund. And last but not least, because those are our VIPs, are our members of this Talent Scholarship Fund and Innovation Fund. So the entire working group is here today, who have been thrilled to accompany all the students throughout their journey over the last 3 years. And we are really happy to have them here.
The busy agenda you have seen in printed form. We already started late, and we are very sorry for that. We try to speak fast, as our students will be in 3 minutes. However, we would also, of course, stick to the agenda and try to squeeze everything in the time slots we have prepared for you. Now I have to check if I have said everything. I think so too. Yes, because now I hand over.
Okay, so to open this event today, it's a great pleasure to start the morning with a welcome from our host university. So please join me in welcoming Ana María García Campaña, Vice Director for Postgraduate Studies and Lifelong Learning at the University of Granada.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Granada and to the University of Granada. It's a pleasure for us to have here colleagues, representative of the Arcus universities, of course, our coordinator, dear Professor Dorothy Kelly, mainly the students that are here from this Arcus Talent Scholarship Program. On behalf of our rector of the University of Granada, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this Arcus Talent Scholarship Fund Gathering event. And I thank a lot the organizing committee, because I think it's the first event of this category, and it's always difficult to organize everything and to offer you this program. So thank you for your successful organization. As we receive you in Granada, a city has served as a crossroad of culture and knowledge for centuries, it feels profoundly appropriate to host you as a student who represent the future of the European higher education. You have arrived at a historic moment in our city, because we are very proud to share that Granada has successfully passed the first selection phase to become the European Capital of Culture in 2031. This date is deeply symbolic for us, as this marks the 500-year anniversary of the University of Granada, founded in 1531 by Emperor Charles V. This bit, it is not just about our past, it is about our future as a center of creativity, diversity, and intellectual exchange. And these values are in the very heart of the Arcus Alliance. The University of Granada is the soul of this city. You can check it in walking at the street. A lot of students are in our street, and it's a very university city, and ranks among the top 3 universities in Spain, according to the prestigious Shanghai ranking, being the absolute leader in the south of Spain and a top-tier institution in Europe. We are global leaders in internationalization, and for years, the University of Granada has been the #1 in destination in Europe for the international exchange student in the Erasmus program. This spirit of openness is exactly why we are so proud to be a member and coordinators of the Arcus Alliance. The Arcus Alliance was built on the belief that working together is better than working in a single institution. You are the living proof of that vision. And I think this act and this organization of this event is also a proof of that. You were selected, the students were selected for this scholarship. I think that not only for your outstanding academic records, but for your potential to act as a bridges between our partners universities. So I would like to congratulate all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this project. Enjoy the event. I think you are enjoying the city of Granada yesterday night, but also today you are going to visit also the Carmen de la Victoria for having a dinner. It's a wonderful view in front of the Alhambra. So thank you for your participation. Good luck in this 3-minute thesis competition, and we are enjoying together this morning. So thank you very much. Welcome to Granada.
Thank you very much, Anna, for those very inspiring words. So now we would like to hear Coordinator Dorothy Kelly, Professor Dorothy Kelly, who is coordinator of the Arcus Alliance. Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Anna. And welcome also from the Arcus Alliance to the University of Granada. It is a very, very great pleasure for me to be here this morning with all of you, very, very specially with our Talent Fund scholars. It's a real pleasure to see so many of you here today. And of course, as my colleagues know, it is always a very, very great pleasure to see all of the colleagues from the Arcus community across our 11. We have 2 associate universities also, our 11 universities, across all the different working groups, which Anya has mentioned. And I think if I could just stop there briefly to thank, on behalf of the coordination team of Arcus, everyone who has been involved in the organization of this event. Very special thanks, of course, to Anya and Celia, and to Jacobo, who joined, fortunately and opportunely, just as Anna's vice-rectorate, how should I put this? Took away one of our great treasures, Celia, from the coordination team. But I think, shall we say, that's perhaps very good news also internally, because we're internationalizing the whole university. And I think that's an important part of Arcus's objectives and goals. So transformation. So thank you also to all the colleagues who've been organizing workshops over the yesterday and today. And to the very special thanks to the colleagues in the working group running this talent fund, because there's been an awful lot of work behind the scenes gone into organizing and designing this program for you. This event, which again is a pioneering event, brings the cycle of the current talent fund to a close. And I think it's a very, very appropriate time just to say how pioneering this scholarship scheme has been within the European Universities Initiative. To my knowledge, we are the only alliance with a scholarship scheme of this kind, of this scope, of this size. A colleague said to me the other day, visionary, and I think it is absolutely true, because as we see the European Commission moving forward in the design of the next multi-annual financial framework and the next Erasmus Plus program, we see that they are moving into a very similar scholarship scheme, based on, of course, finding and retaining excellent students, so you, but also on inclusion, also on mobility, so with an international and intercultural perspective. We're extremely proud of the success of this scholarship scheme, with over 1,000 applications at the initial stage, with students from 123 different nationalities applying. So we're really extremely, extremely proud of that, and even prouder to have so many of you here today to show us, to showcase your academic excellence and what you have learned on this scheme. We truly believe that your academic experience, your university experience, should not only be purely academic, should only be scientific, research-based, but rather that it should be an international, multilingual, multicultural experience, which prepares you not only for your future careers, as you were doing yesterday in the workshop, and as you will do this afternoon also in the second workshop, but very, very specially, and Anya has already made mention of this, for critical citizenship in this horribly complex, challenging, and worrying world in which we live. So it is, as I said, a very, very great pleasure for us to have contributed some way to helping you to grow as future leaders, as future professionals in your disciplines, in your areas, in your professions. And I would like to ask you please to make the most of this event, make the most of being here in Granada, enjoy the city, enjoy the event, learn as much as you can, but also network. This is a fantastic network that you will take with you for the rest of your lives. And I truly hope that you will make the most of it. And just to close, can I say how very, very much I am looking forward to hearing the results of your academic endeavour in our 3-minute thesis competition. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you to the organisers.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. Now, for everyone who's not so familiar with the scholarship scheme, we have prepared a few slides to introduce you to the scheme. And I try before this. They are stuff at the same time. Okay. Okay, some of you will recognize themselves on this picture. That's how everything began. In December 2022, many of those who are still in the working group have been appointed to join this wonderful working group to establish a scholarship scheme and a funding scheme for bottom-up initiatives. So we had 2 online meetings, and in February 2023, we met in Brussels to finalize the very important steps, conditions, etc. for the scholarship scheme. And all of these colleagues who primarily just said, okay, I will help you until we have appointed a colleague for this working group, stayed. But they remained in the working group because they enjoyed it very much. And I'm very happy, and Celia is also very happy that they stayed with us because, as said, they are very important in our Arcus Alliance. We became athletes. Why? Because even though we started in December, the goal was to open the first call in March 2023. So we had 3 months. So it was a very athletic time for us, not only because we had to set up everything, and Celia will explain what, for the scholarship scheme, but also in parallel, we had to come up with this funding scheme for the bottom-up initiatives. So you can imagine how much we have been running in these 3 months, but we were successful. That's why we have this event today. And that's why we also have a lot of bottom-up initiatives and other initiatives funded. And some of you have been joining as students of this Talent Fund as well. So we are very happy that we see your trajectory, not only in the Talent Fund, but also in the Innovation Fund.
So during these initial 3 months that Anya mentioned, we developed the scholarship scheme, but realized that setting up such a scheme it's not just one task, but it involves a million of different tasks, you could say. So this word cloud gives you an idea of everything that had to be developed from scratch in most cases. From very practical things such as the online application platform, or the mobility online system, which I believe you are pretty familiar with, at least students, to more conceptual elements such as the grading rubric, or the selection criteria, or the priorities areas of the program. And of course, there are many other invisible parts that also had to be developed: eligibility checks, the appointment of the selection committees, payment procedures, which were very well performed by grads, communication with applicants, the Q&A sessions that we came up with later, and that we believe were also very beneficial for this scheme. And in other words, the goal was to turn all the ideas that we had at the beginning into something that we could put into practice and that could be beneficial for the program. And once all of these pieces were finally in place, the scholarship scheme could begin running. And as you will see from the numbers that I will show you now, the results have been quite impressive, we could say.
Dorothy already started to mention it. Over all 3 calls, we received 1,299 applications. The last call was over 700, and it showed the success also thanks to previous scholarship holders, because they promoted our scholarship scheme via videos, tutorials, etc. So we had this really, really successful number in applications. And out of them, as we can see, 996 of them were eligible. So you can imagine all these applications had to go through this selection procedure. So the quality check by our academics who were appointed as the selection committee members. We have 123 countries and 122 nationalities, or vice versa, represented across the 3 courts. We have awarded 29 scholarships. Unfortunately, but also first I start with a positive note. Thanks also to Padua and Granada who provided an additional scholarship. However, 2 had to be stepped back because of visa issues. So visas were denied. We didn't see any reason behind that, but that's how the word is at the moment. And also, unfortunately, there were no waiting list candidates enrolled at these universities. So that's why we have 27 scholarship holders at the end, but we are happy to support at least this high number of scholarship holders. Furthermore, just to get an overview, we have 7 PhD candidates and 22 master students, and 14 of them will present today their research topic in the 3 minutes thesis competition.
So once the 3 calls had been launched and the scholarships had been awarded, an idea began to take shape for us, especially during our Arcus annual conference in Leipzig in 2025. Our team realized that although the scholarship scheme was running very well, most of the interactions happened behind a screen, and most of the people involved have never actually met in person. For example, in the case of new students, you might have seen each other's names in lists or may have seen each other at the Q&A sessions, but so far, most interactions have happened online. So the idea of creating this event emerged quite naturally. We thought, what if we could have all the people involved, or most of the people involved, as students, supervisors, colleagues of the Talent and Innovation Fund, all together in one place to celebrate the successes of this scheme. So that's essentially how the idea of this gathering event took form. And we would like to celebrate the success and the community that has grown around this scholarship scheme. But we wanted this gathering to be more than just a meeting. We wanted to see the real impact of the work that our students have performed. You, our students, are doing incredible work in many different fields of the Alliance, and we believe that your academic successes should be shared with us at the very least. So that's why we chose the 3-minute thesis format. Because we believe it's a brilliant way to showcase your academic achievements and to learn from each other today. So it's a great pleasure again to welcome all of you today here. And thank you very much for joining us on this special occasion.
Okay, before I have to step to the laptop, because we have prepared a surprise for the beneficiaries, because we asked you to share with us your impressions, your memories, statements. And with that, we have prepared something we would like to show now. I learned that a brief 1-sentence statement can be very long. So you made it very challenging for me to put it in the surprise, and I have to ask you to read quickly today because some statements are a bit longer than expected, but all of them are very beautiful. I got emotional when I prepared the surprise, and you may also get emotional when you see it now. It will be shared with you, of course, afterwards. And for us, it's a pleasure that we have been part of this journey, and be confirmed by preparing this that you had an amazing time. And that's the most or the best gift you could give out to us, that the scheme really provided you with this wonderful, exceptional journey. Okay, now I'll switch. I give you this.
Doble clic. Doble clic. ¿Dónde se? Ahí, sí. Ajá. Yes, it doesn't. There's no music. Uy. La música, ¿ah? El micro. ¿El mío? Ah.
Tiene que salir algo.
Ujú.
No,
Ahí.
en el siguiente. A ver, la videoconferencia tiene que comunicar el audio.
Está aquí, ¿no? Ujú.
Ahí, pinchamos.
Ujú.
El audio, ¿verdad? Esa.
Hi. I think that you need to open the Zoom setting, like to share the audio.
Está aquí el audio.
No pasa nada.
Venga, ahora ves aquí, compartir y aquí tenemos que decirle.
Pero en alemán, ¿eso qué idioma es?
Ah,
Eso es.
eso para video, para
Vale.
explicar, sí.
Vale.
Espérate.
Es que yo el idioma como. Ya comparte. Vale.
Y ahora
dale a
voy a
compartir.
Ahí está. Pero esto, ¿cómo está ahora detrás?
Sí, vámonos aquí a compartir y compartimos lo que queramos.
El
Ese,
vídeo, pero no es el vídeo.
sí, es el vídeo.
No, el vídeo está. Porque se ve.
¿Quién era ese? ¿Sí?
Este. Ujú. Y entonces pongo esta. No, que viene siempre esto de atrás. No lo cierro.
Sí, no sé dónde está el vídeo.
El vídeo está aquí.
Pero no, tenemos que llevar aquí a
La
compartir.
pera, sí. Ya. Bueno, sí. Y ya está, ¿no?
Sí, pinchamos a ver.
Pincho.
No, a ver, ahorita pinchamos aquí.
Primero, ¿no? Este.
A ver.
¿Va?
Si no, es diferente, ahora.
No, no sale con la pantalla.
Mm.
Está saliendo por aquí, por el
Sí.
USB.
Sí, sí. Eso no tiene nada que ver. Si es tema de aquí, el tema del micro. ¿no?
Sí.
Está fácil.
Sí, antes salió, sí, sí. Por lo menos se compartió la pantalla. Pero el sonido es lo que da.
Este es el vídeo.
Este. Ujú. Ujú.
Okay. Ahora. Okay, ready?
Okay. You got emotional? Yes. I know. I do so too. Yeah.
So after these very inspiring moments and emotional as well, we would like to welcome our student representatives to join us on stage because they would like to say a few words to you. They are Grace, Duen, Yasmina, Jonas, Sophie, Ninaka, and Krenare.
Yeah. Thank you. Just a moment, I'm switching to your slide, right? Okay, this one.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think the words you're about to hear go very much in line with the very emotional and beautiful video we just saw. We hope you're enjoying the event, seeing familiar faces again, and just rejoicing over the fact that we're all here together to share our knowledge, dreams, and aspirations. As you can see, we are 7 people over here, and we represent the Talent Scholarship Fund holders. And overall, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to further our studies. Thank you for the chance to enrich our perspectives and enrich our intercultural academic discourse. Thank you, because through this alliance, we have made so many friends. And as one would like to say, we have built bridges. And more than that, I think Arcus has allowed us to dream of a better world where some of the most active members of society contribute their talents towards justice, equality, democracy, and human rights. And right now, we are here as testament that bringing people together from all around the world and from diverse fields truly makes a difference for our lives, for academia, and for the social body. That is why my colleagues will tell you a little bit more of their personal experience as Arcus Talent Scholarship Fund holders, and how through their journey in Arcus, they have engaged in mobility, research, activism, and others. So I give the floor to Duyen.
Good morning, I'm Duyên. So Arcus Talent Scholarship Fund brought me half the globe to be in Ireland, to be in the minute universities, where I had access to a global academic platform. I met amazing people who had great ideas, who had really interesting experience to share. So I would like to say that 1 year doing my master in Maynooth University, along with the mobility I had in Leipzig University, gave me the opportunity to develop my academic capacity. Also enabled me with the opportunity to enhance my research about human trafficking and social impact business sector, where I had the chance to present the finding in different conferences in Europe and Asia. And from that, I applied the finding in the broader base of my work. So Maynooth University and Arcus Talent Scholarship Fund gave me the belief that my work and my idea can contribute to the impact beyond border. And more importantly, that allow me to be a part of this amazing, this wonderful network that I will always be grateful, and I will always cherish this for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Yasmina, and I was very close to not being here today, as borders tend to push exclusivity and prejudice. So much so that the Arcus Alliance and my home university, Uni Leipzig, had to actually intervene and write a letter to the German consulate to support my visa application. But at last, I'm here. And in the 1 year that I've been part of the Alliance and part of Leipzig University, it has elevated my status from someone from one particular country to simply an Earthling, a student. And instead of someone who is from a particular background with particular constraints, for this very brief moment in time, I'm someone who simply is. And I think I'll always cherish that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonas. I'm from Vilnius University, and they told me not to repeat what others said. So of course, in addition to being grateful and thankful and so on, I wanted to share with you one principle which I have deciphered throughout the life. I called it the principle of 4 P's. P's as in the English letters, yeah, words starting from P's. So the first one is practice. In order to get good at something, you need to practice, but you cannot practice. So this is the first P, practice. Second one is patience. You need to have a lot of patience to practice. You cannot practice without patience. But still, these 2 P's does not make any sense if you don't strive for perfection. This is the third P comes into the play. So you need to practice with a lot of patience and striving for perfection. And still, that it does not matter at this point. Now we need to put in the 4th P, which is poesis, from the Latin creation. And when you put in the 4th P, now you become a master, and the time stops, and you have immortalized yourself. This is the message I wanted to convey today.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophin. I'm from Cambodia, and I got August Talent School. I got August Talent Scholarship Fund in 2023-2024 from Lyon, and currently I'm doing my PhD in Knob University, which also means that I travel furthest that I never been imagined in my life that I could be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Nina. I come from Georgia and I study neurobiology at Vilnius University. And with the help of Arcus Alliance, I did a mobility at the University of Graz. My research focuses on psychophysical studies where we investigate how brain processes and interprets sensory information. And mainly we research through motor and optical illusions and behavioral experiments. Being able to study in different academic environments and discuss these questions and topics with researchers, professionals, professors, and students from different countries and universities, it has been really valuable for developing my own research perspective. And coming from a country where doing your master's or any other kind of degree in Europe could be really, really complicated, this opportunity has been life-changing for me. And finally, the Arcus Sound Scholarship Fund made it possible for me to continue my studies, pursue a master's degree in Europe, and for that I will forever be grateful. Thank you.
So, hi everyone, I'm Crenare Brucci. I'm from Kosovo. I'm doing my PhD at the University of Lyon in France. To conclude on this speech, I would like to add that I truly believe that besides having connected European universities, Arcus has bridged knowledge across continents, as you can see from the diversity of this group, which represents just a small piece of the huge diversity that the Alliance embodies. As a personal note, I would like to say thank you for all the support given during my PhD. I am very hoping that such opportunities will come for other people in the future as well. And I'm very optimistic that together we can upscale education, research, and innovation in Europe and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we got emotional. Thank you very much. Okay, we are not that bad in time. We just checked. Because now we would like to start this very important part for the students, a 3 minutes thesis competition. And the Arcus Talent Scholarship Fund aimed for talent development to recruit talented postgraduate students. As said today, 14 of them will present the research work. We will see the talents today. And we know that's a challenge to present a topic, a research work into 3 minutes. However, I think and I hope that the online coaching sessions we offered in February helped our students to prepare a very competitive session today. And we have, as said, 14 students, but they will not presenting in a row. We have 2 sessions, 7 each, so that we can also a little bit clear our minds for the next 7. And because our jury members, which will be presented now by Celia, will have a bit more, yeah, let's say, flexibility, yeah, to assess all these wonderful presentations I know they're going to be.
So as Anya said, each participant will have 3 minutes and 1 slide to present their academic work to a non-specialist audience, and the goal is to communicate complex ideas in an engaging way. We are going to look now at the rules. In just a second.
Yes.
So as you can see in the slide, a single static slide is permitted for each participant, presented from the beginning of the oration. No additional electronic media or props are permitted. Presentations have to be spoken word, so no singing today, sorry. Presentations have commenced when the presenter starts the presentation through movement or speech. Each presentation has to be 3 minutes long, as we have already said. And if you go over the 3-minute mark, you will be disqualified. And the decision of the adjudicating panel or the jury is final. So our jury today is composed of 3 members. Ana María García Campaña, you already know her, Vice Rector for Postgraduate Studies and Lifelong Learning here at the University of Granada. Marina Fernández Peña Moya, you probably also know her, Communications Director of the Arcus Alliance. And Emmanuel Kipreos, Associate Dean for Internationalization for the Faculty of Social Science at Maynooth University. Besides the jury selection of the best 3 presentations, the rest of the people present here today have the chance also to vote, because we will award a public choice award. So you will have the chance to decide which of the presentations you've seen today you found the most interesting and captivating. So that's all on our side for now. Students, we are very much looking forward to hear your presentations. So let's begin with the first round. And I will say who the first person is shortly. Just 1 second. Although they know.
Just checking the time. That's porque yo lo veo aquí. Ahí está. Pero
Que le vaya al play ahora.
claro que cuando empiecen, que lo vean, ¿sabes? Y eso lo doy, como lo doy. No se ve, ¿no? No se ve.
¿Le echas la una ventana o toda la pantalla?
Toda la pantalla, porque tú tienes tu slide, que lo tienen que ver también.
Se veía, porque ahora no sé.
Ah, ¿también? Lo abro otra vez. Bueno, ahí está.
Ya.
Y si para no compartir, compartimos de nuevo.
No va a hacer, pero voy a hacerlo ahora mismo.
Acabo de compartir. Sí.
Compartimos a ver las opciones que no escuchas. Puedo ayudar mucho. A darle a compartir a ver qué sale.
Nur Inhalt über die Schulter nehmen und aus dem So, aquí está lo que quiero compartir.
¿Dónde está toda la pantalla? Claro.
Toda la pantalla. ¿Mejor?
Eso. Te voy a crear. Ahí está.
Ahí está. Ok.
Sí.
Y si le doy a Vollbild, se quita. A ver.
Ok.
Si le voy a toda la pantalla, ¿tú crees que se quite? Mejor lo dejo así o lo intento.
Es que sí, claro, si va a ver, comparte lo que está viendo aquí. Que
Sí, claro.
Ahora le vaya a dar play, ¿no? Es para dar al play. Sí, claro, no, sí, ahí ya sé.
Bien. Bien. Ok.
As you can see, the first presentation will be done by Nida Adel. Please, Nida. Please join. Ah, she's here.
Sorry, we have a microphone which is freehand, so you can gesture and everything, okay? And they're just getting. We are just getting the free headphone because so you can gesture and everything. So cute.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, it's good. All right. So I'm going to begin with a very simple question, and that is that why is it that sometimes our immune system is able to protect us against viruses and bacteria, but is unable to protect us against cancer? Cancer is not just a disease. We have different types of cancer, and tumors are different in every patient. This disease has affected millions of people and families worldwide, and despite a lot of research that has been going on for years, some cancers are still untreatable, and we end up losing our loved ones in some cases. So our immune system has specific cells, and each one has their own role. For instance, you see over here the cells that are marked in pink, they are the dendritic cells, and they are the patrolling cell in our body. So they scan the body, and in case if there's something abnormal, they produce an immune response. The cells that you see in the blue or turquoise are the T cells. They are the killer cells in the immune body. And once an immune response is initiated, they will kill any bacteria, virus, including cancer cells. Now, sometimes what happens is that in cancer, things go wrong, and our body or the cells that are protecting us, they're not able to do what they want to do, and which is to protect us. For instance, if you look in this image, the yellow area that you see is a tumor. So it's all cancer, like there are cancer cells. And what we see over here, blue cells are the killer cells. So initially, ideally, the killer cells, they should be able to enter the tumor and kill the tumor cells. But we notice that if you see that these cells are outside the tumor part, and they're not inside the tumor, so they're not killing the tumor. But we found a very specific type of cancer dendritic cells, the DC, CD207 DC, and these are originally found in the skin, but we found them inside the tumor. So we have advised that it is because of these cells, the T cells cannot go into the tumor cells. So in order to study this, we're using a targeted therapy, which is like an antibody and a drug conjugate. So antibody is specific to CD207, so they will only find the CD207 DCs, and will deliver them a drug, which will kill these DCs. And once the DCs are gone, we want to see if the T cells can infiltrate inside the tumor and kill the tumor cells. And with the help of this, we want to improve the cancer treatments that are available and bring hope to make more effective treatments for our patients. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nida, for this very interesting presentation. So the next presenter is Kenare Bruki. Please, Kenare.
I'm there.
Can you hear me? Is it okay?
No, no,
No?
no.
Now?
Just a moment. Yes,
Okay.
now, yeah.
I believe some of you have already read The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks or have watched the movie under the same title. Well, for those who haven't, let me spoil by telling that in the story, the main character of the movie, Ellie, when she gets old, she becomes completely forgetful and cannot remember anything related to her life. Although just a movie, the condition of Ellie is a reality lived by million old women and men in the world suffering from a brain pathology known as Alzheimer's disease. You might be wondering, how come a person forget all their old memories and is unable to create new ones? Research has shown that this occurs mainly due to the huge accumulation of a pathological protein, of a very toxic protein in the brain known as phospho-tau. So in order to preserve memory loss, we, the scientists, should find ways to remove these toxic components from the brain. For such a purpose, a lot of efforts are ongoing in different laboratories in the world, including ours. And I'm very excited to share that during my PhD, I'm investigating a protein known as NDP52GE, which is showing promising effects in removing this toxic component very efficiently, giving us hope that our research could perhaps in the future, even if a little, contribute to the treatment of this cruel and devastating neurodegenerative disorder. So thank you. Yeah, it was good.
Thank you very much, Kenare. Next presenter is Adela Kamaru. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced names. You can call me later.
Does this work?
Yes.
Um, Sorry about that. Okay, the influence of social media tone on museum visitation intentions among Romanian Generation Z. March 2026, Times New Roman font on a laptop. And that's it. That's my presentation. I'm kidding, of course. This would be ridiculous. Imagine having the opportunity to talk to so many people, and all you do is this, bland and uninspired. Yet this is how many museums communicate online. While brands have discovered how important social media is for promoting themselves, unfortunately, the cultural sector often leaves accounts gathering dust and publishing posts that look just like the slide behind me. And frankly, we do see the consequences. Take my home country, for example. When asked if they have visited a museum in the last year, 86% of Romanians have said no. My aim is to help museums change that. My thesis is focused on using different tones in social media in order to promote museums better. More specifically, I try out posts that have an informational coding, emotional, humorous, or interactive, and see which one gets the best reaction out of Generation Z and makes them want to visit the museum the most. Because when it comes to communication, there is this quote I really like: "I would rather die of passion than of boredom." It's a quote often attributed to Vincent van Gogh, but he actually read it in an Émile Zola novel. He used it in a letter to his brother Theo to describe his own feelings about his paintings, paintings that went on to inspire so many other people. Because that is exactly what art does. It connects us, it inspires, and museums are not just repositories of culture, they are living, breathing places that help us understand ourselves and each other. And that is why my intention is to help museums communicate better and more efficiently, even among the younger generation, because museums deserve what humans do: passion, emotion, and good stories. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adela, for sharing your academic work with us. So next up is Janka Julia Shebregi.
Yes. Can you hear me? All right. In the past few years, I've been moving around a lot. Erasmus here, Erasmus there, international conferences, trainings, programs. As most of you in this room, I've come to Granada just for these 2 days as part of this amazing program. Everything is arranged for us, and this is normal. For us, this is normal. And then on top of it, when we go home, we will probably add this experience to our CVs as an extra value, hoping for a promising career. But for many others, international mobility doesn't add extra value. It just makes them more vulnerable. Globalization has put millions of people on the move for work, but most of them are not seen as mobile individuals gaining international experience, but rather as simply workers, as somebody to just extract value from. My research takes place in a small Serbian town where a large Chinese tire factory has been recently built, and along with it, several hundreds of foreign workers from Southeast Asia have arrived. And this creates a paradox. Over the last few years, Serbian political discourse has been portraying immigration and migration as a threat to national identity and culture. But at the same time, Serbia has been losing population rapidly due to emigration and low birth rate. So now the country simply doesn't have enough workers. So the government has come up with the solution: importing foreign labor. But in official communication, they are not referring to these people as immigrants or migrants, but as guest workers, as people who are only expected to work, but not to stay, not to integrate, not to become part of society. But an important question is emerging. How do local people react when suddenly foreign workers start settling down in their towns and villages? My research asks how local communities perceive these migrants and how this perception shape everyday local interactions between them. I'm sorry. Why would I care about this random Serbian town? Because this is not just one random Serbian town. Across the world, many traditional aging societies have been experiencing shrinking populations. And we still don't know what happens when a society that has been conditioned to fear immigration starts depending on migrant labor. My research doesn't offer a final answer, but it addresses the question how the way we label and frame people today as refugees, immigrants, guest workers may shape whether societies become more cohesive or more divided in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your engaging presentation. Next up is Kandu, who will join online.
Yes, can you hear me right now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. So imagine taking classes at one of the Arcus universities, introducing yourself as an Arcus student or an Arcus scholar. Nobody there recognize you, even the students and the professor. And that was me 2 years ago. And I hope that everybody feel the same. I moved between universities in Padova, Wrocław, and Maynooth, and I recognized that the problem is still the same. That is, I'm wondering, is there anything that I can do with the communication between the Arcus University that I studied? And I got an in-depth interviews with the students, with the professors and officers who were already the Arcus experts, but the others who know nothing about the Arcus. My finding is really interesting, but there are 3 points that I can take away. So first, the university email is really important. We read, the student read the email under 1 minute. So it's really important to know, like they trust the people they know. So it's better to get the email who's sending from the faculty or the department who has the representative. The second one is social media. Social media is effectiveness is social media, I would say, is for awareness, but if you want to build engagement, you build the community. So take the Padova University, for example. They build a WhatsApp community to communicate the opportunities for the students, but also to engage the students each other. And the last one is the language barrier. Some university, they send the email in their local language, which is find difficult to the student to understand exactly the emails about. So this is suggest that we can do is try to have at least the English subtitle or English caption below in every email to make sure that the language we communicate is inclusive. My thesis is not only about communicating or marketing, it's more about inclusion in higher education and also at the University European Alliance. And I hope that whenever the next time when a student comes to a class at one of the Arcus University and introduce themselves as an Arcus student, we can make a conversation rather than like asking the question about what is Arcus or do you know what is Arcus? It's like another program. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kandu. Our next speaker is Muhammad Atiq Khan.
Can you hear me?
No, not yet.
So, do you know that we are at the risk of certain dangers present all the time? And relatively, Martha, Regina, and Daniel are responsible for people to evacuate their homes, causing billions of dollars in damages and claiming human lives. The names I mentioned are not people, but they are actually powerful storms in the Mediterranean region that is affecting Europe and causing widespread damages. But we have different understanding of these storms because there are several methods available for detection, and each method gives us different numbers. But storms like these raise important questions like how frequent they are and if they follow a certain pattern and how many of them can be dangerous to Austria. To answer these questions, I have divided my thesis into 3 phases. In the first phase, I have developed a new method to detect these storms, in other words, cyclones, on a high resolution data set. And I found over 40,000 individual cyclone tracks in 85 years in the Mediterranean region. And the area in the Mediterranean region that I found, all these tracks are highlighted on the map. Once we have a clear picture of the Mediterranean, in the next phase, I will investigate the types of cyclones that are affecting Austria. And we know there is one certain type known as 5B, which happens almost 5 times per year. And when it hits Austria, it brings extreme amount of rainfall and strong winds and floods in Austria. So we understood that the journey of the storms that hit Austria actually begins over thousands of kilometers away in the Mediterranean. And in the final phase, I will investigate the impacts of all these storms. You can see the numbers are huge. There are 40,000 in 85 years, but no need to worry because only few of them can be dangerous. And so summarizing that, first I found the general picture of Mediterranean cyclones. The second, we filter out the type of cyclones that are affecting Austria. And at the final phase, we will see the impact of these storms in Austria. Combining these three phases makes up my thesis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next presenter is Viruk Yenehun Lemlem.
Okay, thank you. In 2016, a bridge in Italy collapsed, and failures like this raise an important question. How safe are our aging bridges? One particular vulnerable part of these bridges is called half joints. Over time, on this bridge, the concrete cracks, pieces may fall off, and the steel corrodes, as you can see. As the deterioration progresses, the bridge's ability to safely carry traffic decreases. And to understand this situation, engineers use something called strength and time model. You can think of strength and time model like a chain. Each link carries part of the force. And just like a chain, the weakest link determines the strength of the entire system. However, assessing the safety of bridges remain challenging because many things are uncertain. We do not know for sure the exact traffic the bridge will face in the future. Also, material strengths vary over time. So the solution, implementing Monte Carlo simulation. It's just like gambling. You can roll a dice, and every time you roll, you will get a different similar value of material strength and traffic loads. And in my research, I ran this simulation 100,000 times. And in each scenario, I check if the bridge can safely support and carry the traffic. After doing this, after 100,000 simulation, I count the number of failures, and I convert this number of failures into a reliability index, which is a safety measure. And when I apply this method to an existing bridge, I found out that the bridge's reliability index, which is a safety measure, goes below the target reliability index, which is the required safety level after 30 years of service. This kind of analysis helps bridge owners to make informed decisions, when to inspect, when to strengthen, and when to replace them. Ultimately, my research helps to ensure the bridges we rely on every day remain safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with this, we finish our first round of presentations. Yes. Yeah. And we will take now a coffee break. So we're on time, right? Yeah. So, but besides the coffee break, we also want to take a group picture. I don't know how we want to do this, Marina. Jacobo. So maybe right now, before, and then we give you time to drink that coffee outside. And please be back at 11:30 in half an hour, please. Thank you.
The picture is outside, so if you can please go to the stairs outside for the picture. Thank you.
لغة شكلها فرنسية veramente vedremo come sarebbe più alta. Dritta per adesso vedere avanti.
أنت تدارك يا شاهد اليوم هل كل السكريات دي أنا قاعدين طول مكان Oh, you are in the second phase or not? You are presenting?
No, I'm not presenting. I'm not. Please, I'm just here to judge. Are you presenting the second phase?
Yes.
I'm sure you'll do great. Wish you luck.
Thank you. Managing the world with the mega this session. By the year of 2050, the world population will rise to about 9 billion. And according to the International University, that's a phenomenon. And the world will be the more food increase by 50%. At the same time, as we are facing the challenge of we are shifting to cleaner. It means we need more and more than more. One of the solutions, or the better solution, to remove so far the strain of power. But just make some challenge the table. Because it needs more net from fuel preparation for the fuel science. Along with the energy, as the population grows, we need more food. So here comes the real question. Should our land produce more energy? Should it produce more food? One of the price and solution to remove so far is the take. The orchids mean inside the solar cells down the street. And producing across the ocean. But designing these systems are not itself. Yes, solar cell effect sharing, a big rough work. If the number of peanuts, if the number of peanuts are higher, it means the higher share will affect the crop. If the number of peanuts are very few, will not take that much energy. It means a trade-off exists between food and energy. So, my research focusing on optimization and simulation technique, find the optimal designs that we could share the resources in an optimal way. I use computer simulations and tools to evaluate different solar configurations, including variation in spins, factors, and other parameters to find the design. And the results are promising. We achieve a land equilibrium ratio of about 1.1. That means the land productivity was improved by, in simple terms, the water hectare of agriculture, agrivoltaic yield combined is higher than 1.5 hectare of separate solar farming. Agrivoltaic offer promising and strong idea. One more multiple solutions and sustainable solution. How Yes. Now, I think I'm the singer.
What is the last name? I'm sorry.
Sadly.
Okay, so I believe that I asked you because I don't remember the exact order.
I think the people number 9 was better than before. But be prepared, it's okay.
No, I would freak out if like I'm not ready now and my name is Paul there. I want to like also do a strike.
Hi. Everyone hear me? It's me here. Yes.
You're still there. No TV.
Yeah, I'm still here, but not on the screen.
Because when he said like how to add the setting, out of nowhere people will ask me like, who's speaking?
Really? Really?
Because the background was showing something else, so I think they have no idea that you're there.
We didn't
So-
know we are big one.
But where is the
Yeah. Camera? I think the camera. Yeah, that one.
I could not see you.
Yeah. Llega más si canso pues saco. ¿Qué te pute de tiempo? Понимаете, а он не снимает, что париж не велик стыщи. Подан я sé por saber si. Ahora que потом это сказала. لك أولا حاجة سنة يوقع كي عندنا الكتاب وكذا كذا يبقى نقدر نقول بس
Good luck. Ay.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just check.
E igual tenemos 30 minutos para votar, ¿no? Pero. A ver. ¿Cuál es el que está? Es por abril, es imposible.
Ese.
¿Esto?
No sé de Ángel. Pero te va a encontrar.
Bueno. Vale. Esto en Google solo, ¿no? Entiendo. En Edge. Vale. Sería Slider. Está todo en alemán. Por lo que sea, Uf, madre mía, cost and loss. En login, que supongo que será el que tiene ya cuenta. UGA. Another account. Vale.
Ahora te pide 500 cosas.
Esperamos que no. Como la gente todavía no va a entrar. Ya. Hola, Ania. Vale. Lo único que estoy haciendo es poner slide, ¿vale? Para
Es que
que,
le estoy haciendo una señal a Rubén que no está ahí.
se pueda lanzar el slide desde aquí, ¿vale?
Es que tiene que ser con administrador.
Solamente, ya está. Ellos van a ver el ese, pero es para dárselo a los participantes. ¿Te acuerdas?
El código
Sí.
tengo en la presentación.
Sí, el código sí, pero el código es de participante. Este es para lanzarlo desde aquí de administrador.
Ah, yo lo tengo aquí.
Ya está iniciado como administrador. Es decir,
Entonces, ¿cuánto enseño el Word?
sí, ya le puedes dar a
Yo
Start
le
Poll,
voy a dar a
Start Poll
Start Word.
y ya está aquí todos los participantes. Entonces,
Muy bien.
como participantes se vería, bueno, en un principio cuando lo iniciamos así. Y ya está. Close voting es cuando pasen los 30 minutos, le damos aquí eso, close voting y ya está. Y ya aparecerían los resultados que los podemos enseñar cuando queramos, ¿vale? Que aquí ahora mismo están en hidden, pero cuando queramos le damos show results y ya está ahí. ¿Vale?
You showed it? No. You showed it
After.
Bueno, pero a lo mejor para que...
Well, you can or you can actually say that's all. I mean, he's the winner.
As you wish.
He's the winner.
Hombre, a lo mejor una vez
Sí,
que podríamos los certificados para no ponerlos. En plan de, oye, que no me hagan del a ver si...
Claro, en clase se hacía en papel y no se ve.
No se ve.
Podía decir.
No.
Podríamos...
Aquí lo único que sería cuando se le da show results es como la barrita de quién.
Pero encima se
La- no de quién ha votado a quién.
No queremos verlo.
No de quién ha votado a quién,
porcentaje,
sino la barrita de
claro.
porcentaje de diferencia. Entonces, simplemente también les puedes decir cuál es el ganador y ya está, porque nosotros lo vamos a ver. Entonces, ahora mismo no se ve el ordenador, así que sin verlo, ¿vale? Ya está. Simplemente eso.
Bueno, pero si la toman.
Voy a hacer
Eso también podría ser peor.
¿No?
Mejor que.
Bueno.
Porque ya son las 11:30. Entonces yo voy ahora a esto y voy al Zoom. Y si hago por el bildschirm, muy importante, para que se vea esto.
Hi, Anja. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Good to see you, Kang.
Yeah, good to see you. I wish
Yeah.
I could be there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it has been so wonderful. Yeah. But thank you for joining us online. It's
Yeah, it was really nice as well. Is there any other joining online or just me?
we don't know how many are looking at via the YouTube channel because this is streamed, and I think some family members and friends are looking.
I mean the people taking the 3MT.
No. You were the only one
only me.
that's online.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, thank you for organizing this.
Thank you. Okay, so we.
Very smart. Congratulations.
Yes, you have one.
Yes, and we also show you yeah, with
Yeah.
1 minute.
And you see it.
Left and then 37 flashes.
And you can see it.
Yeah,
You see in the corner.
Yeah.
So we have to get Eso es muy fácil. Pienso muy rápido. Sí. Tú tienes. A lo mejor está con ellos.
Así se siente.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your coffee and the conversations around it. So let's start with the next round, the second round of presentations. I think Bruno is the next speaker, it seems. Thank you, Bruno.
I have a big head. Is it working? Okay, let's go. So,
Bruno, you,
wait,
yeah, I'm waiting. You just say like this and then I'd count.
do I look pretty? Yes? Okay.
Okay.
So, ever since we have arrived in Granada, we've been using English as our means of communication. Each one of us with a unique touch to it. Our own accents, pronunciation, grammar choices, word choices, and cultural background. Recent research shows that more than 2.3 billion people in the world have been using the English language as a means of communication. Out of this number, only 300 million represent the population of the United States and of the UK. So now I have a question to make to you all. Why do we keep choosing the old and failed narrative in which these two countries represent all the standards regarding the English language? I'm talking about teaching, literature, curricula, you name it, it's everywhere. Why do we keep doing that? Why can't we take pride in the way we speak English? Why can't we add more people to the conversation? If you dive deep, the answers can be found in two different aspects: historical coloniality and also profit-driven language markets. So in my research, what I try to do in the realm of literature, because I can't talk about everything, of course, what I try to do is to bring to the conversation multi-identities regarding the English language. In my research specifically, I use a book written about a Jamaican British author in which they make an infusion between standard English, Jamaican patois, and Black vernacular English, bringing that to the curricula of the universities and thinking about how can people see themselves when they're studying English? How can they work on their speaking self-esteem? how can they perceive themselves as people that are nowadays also building the future of the English language? So my research is a humble contribution to that, to fighting back this idea in which we are blank spaces that have to be filled by the standards of the US and the UK. So my question for you is, do you want to keep everything red, white, and blue, or you will let your true color shine? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Nestle. Please.
We have 3 minutes. I bet you do, but many politicians don't. And this may sound harmless until the day farmers start blocking highways with their tractors. Now imagine the smell, not the romantic countryside smell of flowers, but the real one, thick and heavy. Across Europe, rural protests have grown in recent years, and this is not only due to subsidies or fuel prices. Rural communities feel something simpler. They feel unheard, invisible, and ignored. And this is where my research begins. Many rural development policies usually focus on one thing: economic results. How many jobs were created in the projects? How many projects were funded? Well, rural life is not only about numbers. Some of its most important impacts are things that numbers fail to capture. And this is where my research starts to follow the question, do you have 3 minutes? It's a question to the policymakers. After 30 years of implementation, Europe's popular rural development program called LEADER is now at risk of being discontinued as it is criticized for failing to demonstrate measurable impacts. Unlike traditional policies, LEADER is special because it brings rural diverse communities together to discuss the future of their own regions by sitting around the same table. In my research, beyond economic growth, I asked something different. How can we make the social impact of rural development more visible? When I look at 3 different countries, Turkey, Spain, and the United Kingdom, I found something policymakers rarely measure. The most important impacts of LEADER are not economic, they are social. LEADER builds networks, local leadership, local democracy, and most importantly, spaces where rural communities feel visible. Well, here's the problem. These impacts remain largely invisible in conventional evaluation reports. When we measure the money, we miss the real value. And when people feel their voices disappear from policy, well, we all know the frustration grows. But rural development is not about only funding projects, it's about keeping a conversation alive between people and policy. If this conversation disappears, well, the next message from rural communities may not arrive in reports, in written forms, but it can arrive again in the smell of manure outside of parliament. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nestle. Grace, please, the floor is yours.
A ver, un momento. Can you hear me? Okay. Let me start by asking you something. Raise your hand if you have ever thought of border security as a feminist issue. Okay, good. We'll come back to this question in the end. See, I come from Tijuana, a city that sits in the border between Mexico and the United States. Tijuana and San Diego have a highly securitized border. A securitized border is a complex configuration of surveillance and security infrastructure that prevents people from crossing.
We are talking about big surveillance towers, an enormous wall, etc., as you can see in this image. This highly securitized border unavoidably shapes the dynamics in the region. It dictates commercial and cultural exchange, but also it creates a lot of violence. However, the forms of violence that women suffer are based on their gender. While men are more prone to get violently detained, robbed, and even murdered, women are more vulnerable to human trafficking, sexual aggression, harassment, and rape. Another special factor here, though, is that the Tijuana-San Diego border is not only securitized, but also militarized. Observing this brought me to my research question, which is, how does militarization shape the spaces that women must survive in? My research argues that militarization doesn't just respond to space, it produces it. And what it produces is a specific kind of zone where violence against women is not the exception, but the rule. Historically, we can already see these patterns. From the systematic rape of women during the Yugoslavia Civil War, or the Guatemala Civil War, or the comfort women of Imperial Japan, the rape of women is a weapon of war. And the Tijuana-San Diego border is not the exception. In fact, 40 to 50% of women report experiencing violence, not beyond the border, but at the border, in the very space militarization is supposed to protect. Consequently, I have found that gender violence and militarization are not two separate systems, but two sides of the same coin. Ultimately, this research matters for public policy and for prevention. And it matters now because we live in a world that is once again blinded by the seeming urgency of militarization. But we need to stop for a second and ask ourselves, what does this mean for our spaces and for women? And what other approaches could we find to security? Finally, I would like to ask you again, raise your hand if you think that border security should be researched as a feminist issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. The next presenter is Abdul.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Imagine the mid of this century. By the year 2050, the world will host a population of about 9 billion people. And at the same time, the energy demand will decrease by 50%. Also, we are facing the challenge of climate change. It means we are shifting to cleaner energy. So we need more and more cleaner or renewable energy. One of the promising solutions we know is solar power, means generating electricity from the sun. But this brings some challenge to the table. It required very higher land compared to the traditional fossil fuel plants. So, as the increasing demand of the energy, there is also an increase in the demand of food as the population is growing. So the question becomes, should our land produce more electricity or should it produce more food? One of the most prominent solutions recently is provided by the scientists is agrivoltaics. Agrivoltaics mean installing the solar panel above the crop land. So the crop is grown below, underneath, and the solar panel generate electricity. But designing these systems are not that much simple. Solar panel create shading. If we install higher number of panels, the crop will not grow, stop the photosynthesis, or will slow down. If the number of panels are very low, it means we would not get that much energy. So it means a trade-off exists between food production and electricity generation. What I did in my thesis is that I used the simulation and optimization techniques to find the designs which could share the resources, the sun, in an optimal way between crops and solar panels. While doing a lot of simulations, we changed the elevation, spaces between the panels, the tilts, and other variation to see different configurations. and the results are promising. We reached a point where we get a land equivalent ratio of 1.5. A land equivalent ratio means that the land productivity was improved by 50%. In simple terms, 1 hectare of agrivoltaic land the combined yield is higher than the traditional separate 1.5 hectare of traditional agriculture and solar panels. It means agrivoltaic gave a strong and powerful idea. One land, multiple solutions, and a sustainable future. The world facing the challenge of climate change. We cannot choose the solution to choose between the food and electricity. Instead, we must design the system that provide both. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Next up is Tuyen.
Can you hear me? So the thesis marked my 10 years of researching and advocating for social impact business in Vietnam. So first, what is social impact business? They are companies that believe that running a business as well as creating a good impact to environments and society should always go hand in hand. For example, they do sustainable farming. They hire people from disadvantaged groups. So over the past 10 years, I have been spoken with 60 of them. 10 years ago, my first research in college found out that they had no access to the government incentive and commercial loan because they lacked the identification. Vietnamese law didn't recognize the legal status for them. 6 years ago, things started to lift up. Vietnam officially recognized social impact business with one condition, that the company had to commit at least 51% of their profits for charity work. And I found out that the company didn't agree with this inflexible approach because my research back then focused on the reaction of this business and also the impact of the policy. 2 years ago, I started my thesis and I talked with them again. Things have changed significantly. So instead of waiting for policy to change, to update, to catch up with their development, they proactively advocate for the policies that can support their development. And a new policy has been discussing in Vietnam to consider corporate social responsibilities will be a mandatory thing for every business in every sector. So my thesis came to one conclusion, that policy is not a fixed word, it's always moving. And it's also not like one-way relationships between the public sector and the business, but business is expected to be in the forefront of working for a better policy, working for a long-term vision and more constructive policies. And another thing that I also found out that like research is a policy also that also has no finish line. My thesis had done, but my research had not, just like the past 10 years. And it's as well as my advocacy work. So it's the process of keep asking questions, keep updating to understand the problem, and then to design the solution. So I promise with you guys, the next time if we have a chance to update about this topic, all the business in Vietnam will be working together for the positive social impact. Not just like we will not have to ask the question, who are they and what sectors they belong to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Emily.
Think about your neighborhood.
Who makes decisions there? Where does your food come from? And who lives next door? Maybe you answer, I go to supermarket. That's all I know. That's normal urban life. Anonymous, individualized, disconnected. But what if this everyday disconnection actually makes us more vulnerable than we think? Because here's the challenge. We face crises no one can solve alone. Climate change, housing, rising costs, loneliness, polarization. They overlap and reinforce each other. Researchers call this a polycrisis. Let's call it poly, a storm system that has been building for decades. It didn't come from nowhere. Our system, built on endless growth, profit, and competition, is the fuel poly feeds on. It speeds up resource use and fragments communities. So I ask, how to not just survive poly, but change the conditions that sustain it? I explored literature on cities, resilience, and alternatives. And a pattern emerged. Cities aren't only where crises intensify. Neighborhoods can be more than places we sleep. They can be sites of transformation. My research focuses on community-led neighborhoods, where residents collectively reshape how they live, where cooperation replaces competition, where shared ownership replaces endless growth, and where local production challenges profit-driven markets. These are real labs of change, because the problem isn't the lack of alternatives, but that we rarely recognize the potential. So let me take you to Basel in Switzerland. There, around 200 people moved into a community-led neighborhood with shared spaces and solidarity-based rent. And they address crises differently. Materially, by slowing down consumption. Socially, by building strong networks of mutual support. And politically, by making decisions together. They're real-world experiments, and they show when housing is decommodified, when resources are shared, when people gain agency, everyday systems can begin to change. Because each of these practices removes a little of the fuel poly feeds on. So, transformation rarely starts with revolution, but with everyday systems. Now, think about your neighborhood again, but this time informed. Who makes decisions? You do. And where does your food come from? From farmers you know. And do you know your neighbors? Of course. You share tools, space, and values. Poly may not disappear entirely, but a storm is as fuel loses force. So, finally, the future isn't something you simply wait for. It's something you have to build all together, one neighborhood at a time. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last speaker is Jonas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonas, and I'm synthetic organic chemist. I work in a field of visible light photoredox catalysis. And all this mumbo jumbo can be easily put in the layman terms. Basically, what I do, I take A, which is nitrogen-containing molecule, and B, which is carbon-containing molecule. And then I put a little bit of the pigment, of a dye, just like in the trees, the chlorophyll. It's a specifically crafted pigment. I mix these three together, and I shine light upon it. And now what I have a coupling of carbon and nitrogen. So I effectively formed carbon-nitrogen bond with the help of light, which is non-toxic reagent. It is non-polluting and abundant. We use just simple LEDs. The only byproduct is dihydrogen gas, which is also non-toxic. This reaction has the highest atomic economy, and it is most highly thought of in industry because it requires no additives and it produces basically no other waste. Yeah. So now you might ask, why carbon-nitrogen bond? Yeah. Why it is important? This is the crucial bond in the molecules which are pharmaceutically related. So for the medicine to be effective, for the drugs to work, there must be carbon-nitrogen bond present in 95% cases. Yeah, so basically that's it. We are working on that for 2 years. This research resulted in 2 highest possible level prestigious publications and 1 patent. So thank you very much. I say let there be more light, and I hope the industry will move toward the visible light photoredox processes in the future.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much again for all these wonderful presentations. And as said, we have a public choice award, and there are also 3 prizes awarded by the jury. We would now take a break again, so like 30 minutes for the jury to assess all these 14 competitions and presentations. And we also have a public vote, and just have to move on. You know, I'm multitasking here. And now, sorry. So this is a QR code for the public vote. Please scan it. You have 30 minutes until 1:45 p.m. Are we on time? Oh, it's just 12. There you have 45 minutes now. And the jury as well to assess. And we come back at 12:45 to announce the winners of this 3 minutes thesis competition. Thank you. Yes. Of course. Yes, it's like the European Eurovision contest. It's the European University Alliance competition. So maybe you only vote for one. Okay. So we have Nieder with understanding CD 207 plus dendritic cells and their role in cancer immunotherapy. We had Grenare with study of the effects of a variant of the autophagic receptor NDP52 in an Alzheimer's disease mouse model and the molecular mechanisms underlying its beneficial impact. Yeah, this is a slide. Adela, the influence of social media tone on museum visitation intentions among Romanian Generation Z. This was a slide. Janka with migrants and workers, question mark. The reception of migrant workers in Serbia. That's a slide. Kang, online, communications at Arcus universities, the do's and don'ts. Slide. Atik with Mediterranean low pressure systems and its impacts on extreme precipitation in Austria. That's a slide. BIRUC, structural reliability assessment of existing Gerber-Girard schemes in a climate changing environment. With this scheme, a slide scheme, yeah. Bruno, for collapse of colonialities, language and educational perspectives in rainbow mode by Mendes. With this slide. Nestle, how community-led rural development programs create social impacts beyond the aims of dominant economic outcomes of conventional monitoring and evaluation systems. That was the slide. Do we have 3 minutes? Grace, border security is a feminist issue. The spatializing effects of militarization in the border area of Tijuana, San Diego, with a focus on violence against women. This was a slide. Abdur, multi-objective optimization of agrivoltaic systems. That's a slide. Duyen, doing good and making profit, nurturing the participation of the social impact business sector to Vietnam's. Emily, one neighborhood at a time, changing the conditions that sustain crisis. That's a slide. And last but not least, Jonas with visible light photoredox catalysis. Okay. Here's again the QR code, just in case you haven't scanned it yet. Okay, good. Those who are not jury members are free to get outside, get some fresh air. Please be back 12:45. And jury members, good luck. Should we vote as well?
Ah, también, ¿no? Aunque hay varias que gustan, pero bueno. Y de cuál
A ver.
Y ya está. Ya está.
Shall we do that? So you can say that we have also votes from outside. That we also had votes from outside.
I can say how they put it.
Yes.
Jung now.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. It is now time for the moment you have been waiting for, the announcement of the winners. We would like to thank all participants for the incredible presentations and also the jury for their thorough evaluation. And now we would like to start by making known the Public Choice Award. And before that, I would like to say that we have also received votes from outside this room because, as you know, the event is being streamed. So we have received more votes than we initially expected, but it makes sense. So yeah, we will start with the Public Choice Award. And this award goes to Nestle.
No. If you say,
Yeah, let me speak, please. I'm a PhD student. I have a very lonely life, and I was so excited to meet with all of you. Like some of you I just met for the first time. I think the fact that we connected in the first second proves the success of the Arcus community. I'm so happy to be part of this community and to meet with all of you. I think it feels like a beginning of something great.
Thank you very much.
Just for you to know, it's a tablet.
Okay, the jury made it challenging also for me. I had to put them under pressure and I had to decide immediately if we can do that or not. But before I announce what we had to adjust, I let one of the jury members say how difficult it was.
Sonia. So I just want to say, I want to sincerely congratulate all of you. This is an incredible achievement, all the participants, because it's not only impressive research, the big challenge is to communicate that, communicate complex ideas in a concise way with purpose, make it simple for the rest of us to follow who are not part of your discipline. So in just 3 minutes, you took us to your worlds, from molecular biology to sustainable development to humanities and gender issues. And that is really no small achievement. So you made a job very hard. We deliberated a long time. And if it wasn't for Anya pushing us, we would have still be talking about it. A lot of interesting work. And we resonated with us quite a lot. And the interesting thing is we saw a lot of different perspectives. And that is the fact that we are moving into a world of interdisciplinary thinking. And that's something that Arcus is really fostering. And it's beautiful to see. So from our perspective, it was, as I said, incredible achievement. We thank you all for your efforts to make it this event so rich for us. So, and now we can go on.
Thank you. Okay, so the challenge for me was to decide if we can give away 4 prizes. So 1/3, 2 second places and 1 first place. And I decided yes, because it has been very challenging. And we will start with the 3rd place. And this is that's a money award. So the 3rd place receives 500 euros. And the 3rd place goes to Abdur.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm very thankful to the Arcus Alliances for giving me the opportunity. And second, I dedicate this award to my professor, Anna Sapato. She is right here. I think it would not be possible without her support. And thank you to the judiciary and all the participants. I'm so happy and excited. Thank you.
I just want to let you know there is a certificate I still have to fill in, and we still have to print a second place. But you will get it, and you will get the money. Don't worry. Okay, so 2 second places. I said challenging for the jury, also as usual for you as a public. We saw many votes, and these second places with 750 euros each go to Grace and Emily. Thank you.
That was a passionate hug. Well, it's always a pleasure to share a room, knowledge, ideas with people as passionate as all of you. I'm truly happy and feeling very enthusiastic about the future. It's just been a very nice event, and I can't wait to talk to all of you because there are still some people I haven't talked to. So thank you.
Yeah, I can just say the same as you. Thank you very much for this opportunity and to meet here and yeah, to meet a lot of new people, but also re-meet people I've already met. Last year I met you, Grace. Yeah, and also I'm very happy to share the prize with you.
Thank you. Then finally, the first prize of these Arcos 3 minutes thesis competition. So we do not have a drum here. Next time, yeah, goes to Biruk. Yes. And the first prize is 1,000 euros.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, the Arcus community, for the scholarship support and now for awarding this. I'm very happy and grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So before we go to lunch, I would like to take a brief moment to reflect on what we have just seen this morning. In just a few minutes, well, a couple of hours, we heard about academic work coming from different countries, disciplines, and perspectives. And that's what the Arcos Alliance is about, we could say. Bringing together talented people, creating opportunities for collaboration, and building a community. The Arcos Talent Scholarship Fund was created to support and develop talent. And today we had the pleasure of seeing that in action. So congratulations once again to all the presenters and winners, and thank you for sharing your work with us today.
Okay, I'm the organizational person now. We will have a lunch break now, close to this building. We will guide you there. And students have to come back at 2:45. We know there's a workshop waiting for you. Kristen is already anxious to train you in smart business solutions. Some of our supervisors have been paired with our academics at the University of Granada. And then for those colleagues who thought that they would have free time, we have entrance tickets for the Parque de las Ciencias, my favorite place in Granada. So if you do not have any plans yet, please come to us, approach us. We have the tickets, if not for the next time in Granada, because they don't have a date. So you can also keep them for the next time you come, okay? And what else is left? I think please use the lunch break to network, to collaborate, to enjoy sunshine, finally. Yeah, the morning looked differently, and we hope you enjoyed today's event. So the official part, students still are enjoying the next part, and we will see each other tonight at 8:30, Carmen de la Victoria, for the reception. And thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Anja and Celia. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Khan. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Parque de las Ciencias.